Dan Tortora here of Wake Up Call, sitting next to one of the Jamesville, DeWitt, Syracuse Orange overseas basketball professionally greats, and someone that I consider a friend, which more importantly than anything, that's what I think about when I think about this gentleman, Brandon Triche. We are here at Game Point Sports Complex on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse, and I believe that they built around Triche. When they were putting the Game Point thing together, he was on the court, and they were putting the walls up around him and the ceilings and all that, and the roof. So happy to be here with Triche. This is our inaugural segment here for Game Point Sports Complex on Wake Up Call called Who's Got Next. So Triche, happy that you're my first time that I get to talk about this.
Man, this is incredible. Obviously, I wish, it was built around me, but it just so happened to happen that, the perfect time. Jim asked me to be a part of it, and, I was free to do it. So, I've been here, training kids and things like that, and, trying to make this gym as big as possible.
And you and I, growing up in this community, I picked up a basketball, I think, when I was 3. Played organized at the Pastime down on North Salina Street when I was 7. And so we didn't have anything like this. What are your thoughts on the fact that kids in the community, adults in the community, have Game Point Sports Complex, which is something that I feel like you and I probably would have been here every day growing up?
I think it's incredible. It's a dual sport type of a gym. I believe they're going to have volleyball, pickleball. I seen floor hockey, here like a couple weeks ago. So you got multiple sports. For me personally, I had like JCC up on Thompson Road that when I was 9 years old, I was going there and I was just finding gym time. And that's a full-length court, you know what I mean? So for me, when I grew up, playing basketball, I just found a place. All I needed was a rim. I was blessed enough to have a court in my backyard. That helped, but obviously it's different than shooting inside. So a facility like this, full length, rims nice, it smells new, you know what I mean? It's just nice. You feel like you're at home when you're here.
Yeah, and like you said, you feel at home when you're here. It kind of brings me back to being a kid growing up, and I had the public safety building. My godfather, being a police officer, he would let me into the public safety building, and up on the roof, they had a basketball court on that last floor. And it was crazy because you would literally see inmates do yoga. They'd come out with their yoga mat, and then I'd go in and play basketball. And so we had this little private thing. I, like you, I had a basketball. I had my driveway, and I had the basketball hoop there, and then I had pastime. So, like you said, all you need is a rim. All you need is an opportunity to get out there, rain or shine. But this is the 365 days of the year, climate controlled, just beautiful, pristine. There's a lot of work that Jim Dispenza put into this.
Yeah, he put a lot of work. I mean, it's high tech. You know what I mean? You have the not the gun, but you have a shooting machine, which for people who want to actually get better, get shots up. So you have everything. It's not much that is missing. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult when it comes to like having a lot of fans here. But I think this is more, so like a practice facility. You mix in the different leagues and stuff like that. It's definitely a blessing for a lot of kids growing up. Again, if I was, 9 and 10 again, this is a place where I want my dad to drop me off. How can I get in this league and shoot here? Just because the courts are nice. It's not like it's slippery. Like you said, you got air control, so the AC is on, it's not extra hot. You're not going to have the problems with the floor being humid. You know what I mean? So I think it's a blessing, and I'm glad that Jim was able to do that for us. And just so happened that I live 5 minutes away. So even more blessing for me.
Yeah, and we call this segment on Wake Up Call Game Point Sports Complex, Who's Got Next? And what you're doing here, I think, is perfect for the inaugural episode of Who's Got Next, because you're paying it forward. The first time I saw you here, you were in one of the gyms doing one-on-one training. So what does Who's Got Next mean to you with the personal training that you're doing here at Game Point?
Yeah, I mean, it's me giving it back, but when I think of work and job, I always want to do something that it doesn't feel like a job. When I was playing basketball professionally, making money, although I was making money and I guess it's considered a job, it didn't feel like it because I was doing something I love.
Yeah.
And when it comes to training, it's something I love doing, you know what I mean? When a kid works really hard and I see the passion that they have, you know what I mean? It just brings me to when I was young, you know what I mean? I wasn't a kid you had to say, hey, run faster, run harder. You know, I wasn't that kid, you know what I mean? So when I meet those kids, it's just like, I'm just helping, you know what I mean? It just so happened I am getting paid to do it. But, you know, for me, it's about having fun, you know what I mean? Enjoying what you're doing. And also the effect I have on kids, it just makes it a lot easier to do my job.
Yeah, you know, like you said, you have an effect. I mean, you and I, before we sat down to do this segment, Who's Got Next at Game Point, you know, we were, like, I was just out shooting, doing layups and whatnot, and you immediately went right into it, like, hey, flick your wrist, hey, think about it like this, and then showing me, like, if you utilize this motion, and then once you get it down, and once you kind of know when to release, and here you're making 1, 2, 3 in a row, now let's move to another spot. Like, you just flow right into the teaching.
Yeah, man, and that's how I knew I was good at it. You know what I mean? I kind of always, I was like the trainer of my friend group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even in 8th grade, you know, even for all the camps that my dad would take me to, once I got, you know, too good for the camp, now like those camps were letting me be the coach. So this is like 9th grade and 10th grade. Technically, I'm coaching kids that's my age.
Yeah.
But for me, I would go to these All-American camps and these invite-only camps. And what I would do is I would take back those exercises that we would do as a group or individually and say, okay, this is what we're doing. Hey, like this is different, like, you know what I mean? So I'm the one running the drills for my friend group. So I kind of always was around teaching. It was just, for me, and personally, that's why I felt like I never really needed a trainer, because I had a trainer's mindset, you know what I mean? But for me, I kind of like, sometimes you want to learn something different. Sometimes you don't want to be the guy coming up with the drills and stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Again, the teaching comes, like I said, it's a flow. Yeah. And I'm kind of creative, so I kind of use my mind when it comes to making workouts and making it different for kids. And so far, man, you know, at least 20 of the kids was like, you know, they got better, and I think that's what means the most.
So if someone wants to come to Game Point Sports Complex and work with you, how do they go about doing that?
Well, I mean, I guess the easiest part, it depends on who's here. So if Jim is here, he do, you know, I tell him like, all right, just give me, they can either email me, and that's bstriche 20@gmail.com, right, through the email, or if they have the social media, I'm on Instagram. So a lot of the inquiries come through Instagram, and that's BTA or BT Athletics 315. So you'll be able to find me on there, or just put Brandon Triche. Most likely my name will pop up, Instagram will pop up. So yeah, I mean, obviously from there, once I realize somebody's serious, then I give them my number, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that you either email or reach out on social media to Brandon Triche, someone that I have appreciated, respected. I still go back to the days when I walked to the locker room after a game and you're just up there at your locker. And you could see that after a game, cerebral, you were like playing things back behind your eyes. I felt like I could always see that in you. You weren't just sitting there like, okay, the game's over, I'm gonna get some food, this is what I'm gonna do when I leave. It was like you were in your own bubble, in your own space after a game. Is that fair to say?
No, very fair. You know, just growing up more of a quiet kid. I wouldn't necessarily say shy, but more quiet. You know what I mean? If I'm choosing to be loud or quiet, I'm definitely gonna be quiet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the guy that, even if I'm there, you know, people might think, you know, okay, I know this kid, but for me, you know, I might not make a noise in the room. You know what I mean? So because I grew up quiet, I'm more of a thinker. So again, so it's a great observation, because I definitely used to utilize that even overseas. So I would play the game over in my head, think about the shots I missed, the shots that I should have made, and literally because at that time I'm not having like the video. You know what I mean? This is like 10 years ago, almost 12 years ago. So I would just go over the tape in my brain. Okay, I missed this pull-up jump shot. I missed this floater. So now I get to that spot, make 5 in a row, You know what I mean? And that's kind of like, that's me watching film without the technology.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that with you. And for those of you that need to know, Brandon Triche, you should know this, but if I have to tell you, the most career victories at Syracuse within the span of time that he was there. And we figured out mathematically that you lost in 5 years playing varsity. You lost 9 games in 5 years.
Yep. So I lost from 2005 to 2009 because I actually played 3 games my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
So we lost going into the championship. We actually lost in the championship to Mexico. That was the first game I lost. Freshman year, lost twice. Sophomore year, I got injured, lost once. Junior year, lost twice. Senior year, I believe either lost 2 times or 3 times. And then I only lost 25 games in my 4 years at Syracuse. So,
yeah. So lost 34 times in the span of 9 years.
Yeah.
Insane.
A
So
whole lot of winning.
that's right. A whole lot of winning. We wish you had more eligibility right now. So make sure you get in touch with Brandon Triche, get trained by him. To have the opportunity to have one-on-one training or small group training with one of the greatest people that I have met in the sports world beyond basketball and one of the most successful basketball players to come out of Central New York, you know where to be, Game Point Sports Complex. And who's got next? You with that guy. Thanks, Trish. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Of course.